10 Pro Bowls for Bailey. First down and 10, and the screen pass to Brandon Pettigrew, and the Broncos come up with a big defensive play. Von Miller, second down and 11. Keelan Williams, tackled by Von Miller.
In motion toward the ball and then back away from it, and Sanchez is going to get swallowed up in the backfield at the 20-yard line. Second down and 9. Sanchez, quick throw, and Holmes would have had a touchdown if that pass would have been online. Powell, the tailback in the eye, he gets the call, and he's going to go down for a loss. Boy, Von Miller, how good is he going to be? He already is as a rookie. Down at 5. Big play here, and a bad ball. Snap. Sanchez has to track it back, way back at the 26. Sanchez, down he goes. And it's Von Miller again.
This is why this kid is so special.
The great fourth quarter comebacker where we have the first postseason overtime game with the new rules. As Roethlisberger's in trouble and is taken down at the 18 by Von Miller. On first down from the 45 of Denver. Roethlisberger wanted, unloaded, the ball is out, and he falls on it. Back at the 43. Watch the clock here.
Denver's got 8 guys up at the line, though.
Rice out on the pass pattern. Flacco running out of time, and he goes down.
Send a couple of them deep, and they're going to look for a deep outcut.
And they have no timeouts. He's in trouble, and he's tripped up and sacked. First of the game. And it's Von Miller. First sack for Miller since blowing out his knee last December the 22nd.
For Denver greatly.
3rd and 7. Scrambling, and they got hold of him for a sack. That's Von Miller, and again, Miller was not a part of the equation.
From the 20. Swallowed up is Ellington. Von Miller, who they really missed at the end of last. 3rd down and 9. Down he goes. And the sack off the edge, Von Miller. He keeps it, and down he goes. Second play from scrimmage to Marcus Ware. He adds a new name to his list, and it's 3rd down.
And that's what they're looking at right now along the Denver sideline. First down for the Jets. Give to Ivory. Spun down. But he told his team we can't listen to that stuff. He's certainly, team's going to get the Jets' best shot today. Handoff to Chris Ivory, and struggling just to get to the line of scrimmage. Von Miller was all over it. Eric Decker covering 39 yards. Smith in the pocket. Slammed down. Big loss on the play. It was coming from all angles. Von Miller. Shotgun for Smith. Out of his own end zone. Trying to run away. Smith is sacked. Did he get out? He did.
You never heard of irreconcilable differences?
Yeah, once in Dallas.
From the 13-yard line. Kaepernick, he's going to get sacked at the 5-yard line. Von Miller.
Like that.
Make it 5. Yep, you called it.
Philip Rivers said he meeting, clapped his hand and goes, "Hey guys, we're 5-2." Just to get them over the funk of losing that home game against Kansas City.
2nd and 4, and Oliver's in trouble right away. Von Miller crashes across. And Miller beats Fluker, and he's got a sack for the 5th straight game.
On first down from the 20, the pitch from McFadden, looking for a block, not getting one, and there is DeMarcus Ware.
From the gun. Hill in trouble, trip, and he's down at the 20. Von Miller down low to get him. He's in double digits now in sacks. That's number 10 for Miller.
Kansas City will try to effect a good long drive here, and Alex Smith is going to go down again. This is Von Miller chasing him from behind.
Von Miller on the sack.
Well, they've gone through a
17-yard line.
Oh, boy.
And that'll be a 5th sack.
Nickel secondary. Orton hit again, and down he goes. This time back to the 9. Von Miller, sack number 12.
14 carries, 116 yards. Here he goes again. To the 6-yard line. That ball come out? Yes, it did, and Denver's got it.
That's a game changer, and that's the one thing Hill has done, Mike. That's his 5th fumble.
What's up?
Quick drop, escapes trouble, goes down inside the 15-yard line at the 14. 14 total yards and 11 offensive plays. Carr lost the handle, still hasn't corralled it, and picked up inside the 5-yard line by Donald Penn, the left tackle.
It went for 11 and a new set of downs at the 42. The toss to Heron. Miller's there and breaks it down after a loss of about 3. Can pick up a first just outside of the 3. They're going to try to get it on the ground, and Heron is going to be backed up about 4.
And that's what they did.
It is Forsett, and they've got him low right away. First time around. 2nd and 19. From the pocket, in trouble again, and a flag is out.
And they fake the snap. Peterson on a sweep, and it's played well by Denver. They were all over it. Von Miller came up, so did Chris Harris. 2nd and 1. Bridgewater in trouble, and he's dropped again. The 6th sack of the day. It's Von Miller. Blitz coming. Bridgewater in trouble. Sack, fumble, it's loose. Broncos have it.
Well, just the importance of division games now.
Carr under pressure, and he goes down at the 15-yard line. And there is Von Miller, and lost the ball. The Broncos recovered it.
The Eagles visit the Cowboys. Now Rodgers. Bump, bang, battered and bruised. Knocked down at the 18-yard line.
Not even talking hurry-up offense. The Colts had retreated, huddled. First down carry. Backed up this time.
A quick throw to the outside.
Alex Smith has thrown 8 straight incomplete passes. Under pressure, and he goes down back at the 43, and that's Von Miller.
And it sets up Chicago with a 1st and 10 inside the Denver 35. Cutler, it was slapped away and picked off. Miller gets a piece, and Malik Jackson is there. The Bears turn it over with 2:23 remaining.
2nd down and 10. And Brady's going to get sacked at the 13. Von Miller.
Look out. They jump on him at the 45-yard line. With a sack right there, who else? Von Miller, 8th of the season.
Just haven't been able to get anything really going against this Denver defense.
2nd down and 5. Here's the Heisman runner-up from a season ago, Gordon once again. And oh, did he fumble the ball? Yes, he did. Denver's got it. And coming through, Von Miller got the ball. League is big into this. Woodhead in the backfield, 3rd down and 8. Look out. Miller's got him. Miller brings him down with his 2nd sack today.
3rd in the NFL on 3rd down conversions. This is the 3rd and 5. Rush coming. Carr loses the football. Austin Howard is there.
It's a Colts 1st-round pick back 7 years ago. Rivers had time, and then they come in on him. And Von Miller makes the sack back at the 20. Loss of 8.
Somebody needs to chuck him to slow him down so the offensive line can take care of it.
It's a 2nd and 10. From the pocket, it's picked off, and it's Miller with the interception. Keep an eye on that matchup. Brady looking around, and he is taken down. Ware was there. The two guys on the outside, Ware and Miller combined. 6:42 to go, quarter number 3. And Brady fields the snap from the 8, and he's in trouble. And he's hit hard by Von Miller. Gronkowski back out here for 3rd and 10. Manning is sacked yet again. It's Von Miller. He hasn't stopped running this entire game. And the Panthers have a 3rd and 10. Here comes pressure, and they've gotten to him. The ball is out in the end zone, and it's recovered by Malik Jackson for the touchdown. It was Von Miller with the strip sack, and Jackson with the recovery. Here comes the pressure. Nowhere to go. And Newton's down at the 22. Wolf and Miller. It's a 3rd and 9. Rushing 4. Ball comes out of the hands of Newton. It's on the ground, and it's still on the ground. Picked up by T.J. Ward at the 4-yard line. Von Miller did it again.
To the 50 to convert. Pressure again, sacked at the 29. Miller, sooner or later.
Magical things at the end of the year, too, when they were down to like their 4th option at quarterback. He still won some games. That ball deflected on 3rd and 9 by Von Miller. Seldom misses any action. 61 consecutive games played. 3rd and 2, and they're after him, and they get him back at the 30. Von Miller, who had never sacked Luck before in the 3 previous times he had faced him, gets to him this time. Third down, and Luck goes down at the 34. It's the 2 edges.
Yep.
Ware and Miller. And again, no timeouts. 151. Got to go 75 yards. Here comes Miller. The ball comes out. It's scooped up by Ray, and the Broncos put it away. Oh, that's Von Miller again.
Well, they double teamed him. It's just what we talked about, though.
Yeah, 3.
Shotgun for Dalton. There he is, Von Miller. Coming off the edge.
Continue to come after the quarterback.
Here's Winston on 1st and 10. Broncos coming and get to him again.
Guess who, right?
4th sack for Denver. Von Miller and Derek Wolf. And they just keep on coming.
Need to get to the 45 for a first down. He's going down. Von Miller sacking Matt Ryan. Field goal and risk a block or a run back here. So if you get the first down with no timeouts, you can run the clock out, but they won't. The ball was deflected trying to get it to Freeman.
They have used to keep this Denver defense on the field.
Gordon. Look at Miller. Wrap him up for no gain.
Blew the running back. 1st and 10. Houston. Trouble with the snap, and Osweiler's on it. Boy, what a great.
And Rivers now from his own 39-yard line. Pulls it down, on the move, and is going to eat it. Might have lost a yard on the play, brought down by Von Miller.
Carr, and they will because he's going to get sacked. Hello, 58. One Von Miller.
3rd and 1. There's the toss. Ingram, and they have the angle on him. Look at Von Miller. Was the one who disrupted that play, and they take him off the field. Von Miller.
Downs in the game in that first quarter. 4 for the Chiefs, 2 for the Broncos. Flips out to James O'Shaughnessy, the 3rd tight end, and Von Miller gets out there to make the play on the 2nd-year Chiefs receiver. Fake it to him, trying to get to Kelsey, was covered, and somebody's waiting. My name is Von Miller.
Second and 10. Bortles under pressure. That ball comes loose out of his hands. What's the call here? Denver recovers the football. No signal yet by the officials. And it will be Denver football. It was Shane Ray who fell on it.
Named Gronkowski.
That would be a positive exception. I would agree.
Greg Olsen would be in the conversation too. So the defense here is able to do its job as Von Miller.
Series today, and he was sharp. Drove him down the field, threw a touchdown. Here's a 3rd and 1. Low snap. And that allowed the Denver defense to just crush the ball carrier, Latavius Murray. You'll never find a player in the league who ever played for Gary Kubiak who said they ever played for a better person as a coach. Oh, the ball's on the ground. And the Broncos have the recovery. They tried the trick play with Johnny Holton.
Miller got there. Finally.
In the middle of the field, there's a role for guys like Switzer and, of course, what we've seen from Beasley.
Here's Prescott going down. Von Miller's got another.
Emotional in that post-game locker room. We'll see how the young rook responds here. Today, Taylor is set. Von Miller getting started early. But not today, my friends. What a play by the defense. This is McCoy wrapped up. What a play by Miller.
We'll be there Thursday night.
18 people telling me over here in the notes.
3rd and 4, and here comes Miller.
From the 42-yard line. And Eli is going to get swallowed up at the 38-yard line. That's Von Miller making his presence felt on that play and creating a 4th down.
Roby's in there as a 5th defensive back. Here comes Rivers. 1st down and 10 for L.A. and being chased and down. Brought down with a historic tackle sack right there by Von Miller.
Their offensive line, and they're missing one of the best receivers in Emmanuel Sanders.
They're down and 9. Rivers hits the deck at the 20. And sack right there for Von Miller. His 2nd today.
ISF. Yeah, it's sure at the potential. There's Kareem Hunt. Not back to the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd down. 10th play of the drive. Nothing there for Ajayi. Von Miller was ready for him. Let's check in with Evan Washburn for a QB under 25 since Dan Marino. And off, and nothing there for Clement.
And when you can have your name in the same sentence as Dan Marino, thing is that they all kind of echoed the same thing when they said they check their egos at the door and are willing to listen.
Foles loses it, and it's scooped up by Marshall, who will take it to the end zone for a touchdown. Denver creates the turnover, and Marshall turns it into 6.
And no to lead now ejected along with Crabtree earlier on 3rd and 13. They need the 29. Carr will go down. Shelby Harris comes through with the hit.
You want to do so well. And look, he played 2 games last year. This is an unbelievable opportunity for him, and he winds up getting hurt during the second half.
What a nice sticking back of the line of scrimmage. Miller coming through, nailing Lynch.
2nd down and 8. Kenyon Drake, and he'll be knocked back, and it was Von Miller. Von Miller, and a loss of a couple of yards on the play. 3rd down and 6. And Cutler is going to go down. And it was a combination of Zach Kerr and Von Miller.
Red 80! Brings up! Powell. Not much there. Von Miller making the stop. Is injured and not here, and you saw Chris Harris, and here's McCown. McCown going down. Von Miller. My goodness.
Yes.
From the 11, Matt Forte, nowhere to go.
As Washington still has all 3 of its timeouts left. 65 seconds left before halftime. Low snap. Dangerous play. Cousins just falls on the football. And things getting even hairier for Washington. Massage takes his sleep very seriously. He is someone who is so meticulous with his mental and physical preparation. As you see, the football came loose. Well, let's see what the officials determine here. Was Pirine down by contact?
He's more than that, 105 yards already in this game, and a first down in territory. And there's Von Miller. I was about to say we have not mentioned Von Miller's name all day, and there he is doing the dance. Seattle 0 for 4 on third down conversions. Here's Russell Wilson. And gets hit. Loses the ball. Scramble. And it's recovered. Second down and 3. And here is Carson with the first down. And loses the ball. Carson fumbles. And the Broncos get it. Von Miller, ladies and gentlemen. Wilson in trouble. Von Miller. All they have to do is get in field goal range. And a fumble. And Wilson falls on top of it. But the clock will continue to run.
Carr on the move. This is Lynch. And Lynch, that's going to lose some yardage. They're going to back them up to about the 8 or 9 yard line. Ball so far. He's going to throw another one here. Has time, lost time. Goes down at the 30-yard line. Von Miller
comes into the backfield. Alert a shuffle pass underneath, possibly. They fake it, give to Hunt, and he's met by Von Miller. A loss of 2.
54-yard run on the burst by Crowell. He'll get it again. And Crowell is dumped. The rookie Herndon goes in motion. Bilal Powell is stuffed.
1 yard forward, 2 yards back, huh?
On the 47 of the Broncos, play action, and Jared Goff in traffic in a crowd goes down. Play fake to Brown, and Goff in trouble, and Von Miller gets to him first. That's 5 sacks by the Bronco defense. Boy, they've held up their end.
If they're going to go single up on the edges with Chubb and Miller.
Third down and 4. Rosen steps through the pressure. Ball is knocked out. Still loose. Recovered by Denver. Was he in bounds? Knocked out by Von Miller.
Yeah, that could have easily been a foul because of the high hit to me. And there was, like you said, Troy, helmet contact.
Hey, Von Miller, make another play, why don't you? Another takeaway for this Denver defense, and 58 is right in the middle of all of it.
10 now for the year. Chiefs take over their 45, 1st and 10. Kelsey a block, and then they come with Von Miller and Chubb with a flag. Back at the 38.
Is that good? I think that's pretty good.
It's pretty solid. And a running play on first down stops by the Denver defense. Off the play fake, Watson's in trouble, and he goes down. Von Miller, his 9th sack of the year. It's a loss of 3.
Rivers rush coming, and Rivers has to absorb it. Von Miller, his 16th career sack on Phillip Rivers, and a timeout call. 2 touchdowns, so that's 11 straight games with at least 2 touchdowns. Intercepted, picked up by Von Miller. Miller trying to stay upright, and he's brought down from behind by Travis Benjamin.
Here we go. On first down, Roethlisberger goes down. Von Miller got there.
Well, you know,
really kind of hard to see exactly what happened there.
Suddenly the defense dealing with a host of injuries as Driscoll is sacked again. I gotta say, this has been a pretty physical game. A lot of vicious hits we've seen on both sides. As Driscoll is going down again, it's Von Miller. Third sack for Denver.
Pressure coming, it's Von Miller! And he decks Nick Mullins. 13.5 sacks on the season now for Von Miller.
That's why they took the timeout. They want to get organized for this play. Mayfield is pressured, and you don't need a corner when you have the old-time Broncos sack leader. Von Miller gets the record on that play.
And it looks like those two teams are on a collision course in the wild card matchup next week in Baltimore. That ball comes loose. No official signal yet. Appears to be a live ball, as Smith's hand was not yet going forward, or was it?
The mustache and the jorts, and by the way, he can throw a pretty good football as well. Looking to throw here, and there's the first sack of the season for the Denver defense. Finally, it's Von Miller. Let's see if Jacksonville could get their offense going. They have not had much rhythm here in the first half. Minshew in trouble, sacked again! Tannehill, pressure is coming, and Tannehill is sacked.
The numbers are down. They're not where they are accustomed to. Brissett steps up, and he's sacked. Miller got in there initially. Brissett making sure everybody's on the same page here on 2nd and 4. Running play, Mack. Nothing there as he falls forward. Von Miller, first man to make the play.
We'll see how they stack up against this Denver defense right now. This is huge.
Fake it. Brissett. He goes down at the 36-yard line.
No, he's not. Hilliard remains.
Quarterback
4th and
sneak.
1.
There it is.
It is. Oh, he dives for the first down to the 4.
You had to know that was coming when Chubb wasn't in the game and they had less than a yard to go. What was on the horizon? This was a very difficult opponent.
They need the 42. Oh, he's knocked down from behind, hit by Von Miller. Von Miller has just sacked his 50th different quarterback. Josh Allen, Dawkins the block at the left tackle. Now they come and they bring him down. Davis was on top. Feliciano remains the center. Moore still out with the hand injury. 1st and 10. Singletary wrapped up that time by Von Miller. The 7-time Pro Bowler got him around the shoestrings. A loss of a yard back to the 39.
3rd and goal. He's got Hill working out of the slot. Mahomes gets away and gets surrounded at the 5. Chiefs got that win over Baltimore earlier this season here at Arrowhead. The win over New England at Gillette last week. Give to McCoy once again.
Lions 2 timeouts, down by 10. Blau batted down. Almost picked off, incomplete.
4th and goal for the Raiders in a game they have to win. They hand it to the fullback Ingold. Second effort and no signal yet. Denver fans think they held. And he didn't get there. We showed you on that last drive what happened to Carr. Throwing on 1st down, in trouble and sacked, and it's Von Miller.
From Jones to Slayton to set him up at the 30. They run Kadarius Toney, the 1st-round pick on the end around, but he's tackled by Von Miller, who is playing his first game since the end of the 19 season.
From Von Miller and Malik Reed.
Daniel Jones under pressure, right on cue. Von Miller. Patrick Surtain the second. They rebuilt that secondary. Pressure on Daniel Jones right away. Von Miller once more, the active leader in sacks in the NFL with his 2nd.
Where does Lawrence go here on 3rd and 6? Lawrence buried. Von Miller is into the game at right guard for the Jags. 1st and 10 as they begin just outside their own 15-yard line.
Watch those 2 safeties right there.
Wilson, they get to him again.
again. It's Von Miller coming around the corner.
A couple extra linemen in to try and get this on the rundown.
It's Murray. Murray hit at the line and does not get it. Mike Purcell and a host of others. Second down and 4. It's Murray again. Von Miller's there, and Miller makes the play.
They've really got to have Drew Lock come up with some big chunk pass plays down the field. They've got to play a good, solid defense right here.
Jackson in trouble, and down he goes.
21 players had more than that in the NFL, but it's been a different story so far. Now here's Balaj, and they go backward.
Take a shot over the top.
Slow developing play. That looked like some kind of mistake.
He pointed up to his name here in the stadium, and he said, "Now I'll be here forever." As he and the rest...
That certainly played a key role in that losing streak. That's a pass to Rondale Moore, and Von Miller will make the stop.
Or think about kicking a field goal to make it a one-score game.
Connor. Oh, I don't think he got there. Let's see where he's marked out. He is marked short for now. It was a long 4th and 1.
This year for Seattle on 3rd and 11. Wilson dancing around, trying to get away, and he can't. A sack. It's Von Miller. Then he goes nowhere. 4th down. Greg Gaines in the backfield. Devontae Freeman is tackled for a loss. 3rd down coming up. Carissa Thompson's got a game break.
I sure do.
Pressure. Leonard Floyd chasing Huntley. And a little bit of help from Von Miller to put him down. The edge rushers of the Rams team up for the takedown. Rush coming from the Rams. Pressure on Huntley. Down he goes. Von Miller. A clutch sack. You have to sack it now.
Problem is his receivers are 30 yards down the field. They got to hurry up and clock it.
Got to get set. Now they spike.
He was a left tackle his last year at West Virginia. But a big game for him stepping into the lineup for a great player.
Tossed to Mitchell right side. Swallowed up. Lost a yard. Tough spot. Down 17 and trying to set up a screen, which they do for Kittle. And he loses yardage on that play. Von Miller made the stop, a loss of 2. Garoppolo is sacked. Von Miller.
In this game, and right off the bat, a little skirmish up front.
2nd and 8. Weddle's in there. We'll keep an eye on him. Here's Kyler taken down at the 17. There's Von Miller with the sack. Rams bring some pressure. Get it out to Moore quickly. And he is upended. Von Miller.
Now Brady starts from the 30-yard line. Look out from behind. Ball is out. Strip sack there by Von Miller. And the Rams have it.
But not much help. Toss to Mitchell. Play made by Von Miller, and the first time we've said his name today. Loss of 1.
Pressure again. Miller. Ball comes out, but the play is over. Signaled over. Von Miller racing through. Blitz coming. And they get there again. You got Floyd at first, and then Miller comes in, and they wrap him up, and you got a flag down at the end of the play. And Burrow is on the ground.
Playoff game against Tampa when he had to play and did a great job.
2nd and 5. Stafford back to the air with pressure. Von Miller in there, and Oliver as well. And they bring down Stafford with the first sack of the night. It's warm in here, and the ball was flying. Stafford out quick to Cup. Robinson got a block. Cup coming across, and Von Miller waiting for him. Loss of 2. Back at the 40-yard line. And everybody's going to hold their timeouts. 2nd and 9. Stafford, look out from behind. Von Miller got him again. Sack number 2 for Von in a return to L.A.
A couple of big bodies in the middle of that Buffalo defense. Guys like Phillips have to pick it up. Henry is met and stopped. Von Miller, first in, loss of 4 on the play.
3rd and goal. Waddle and Hill are in. Make it 3rd and 11. And they get the ball out. Incomplete. Great pressure that time by Von Miller.
Well, they can do the same thing to Johnson.
Von Miller's coming after him. Von Miller has another sack, his 4th as a Buffalo Bill.
They do a lot of stuff to the sideline, a lot of stuff underneath, but they can hand the ball off whenever they want.
On 2nd and goal, they hand it off for no gain.
But Tyreek Hill was the home run guy. You're going to leave one-on-one back there. They don't necessarily have that per se right now.
Here's a 2nd and 10, and look at him go down. There he is, Von Miller. Wow, did he get there quickly. 3rd and 6.
Are you going to double Kelsey, or are you going to leave him one-on-one at the top of the screen?
Here's Mahomes. Got time. Now comes Miller to bring him down back at the 21-yard line. His 2nd sack of the game.
Wilson from the gun. Wilson under a rush, loses the football. Von Miller gets home. And Buffalo takes over. The Jets on the brink of regaining the lead. 10th play of the drive. Handoff. And Robinson is blown up behind the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd and long, it's Von Miller putting his stamp on this one.
Play clock at 1. Chubb not going anywhere. Again, Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones on the tackle.
20 seconds. He's got more time than the 13, but we'll see. This is a very different year.
And he's got 1 timeout. Pacheco and Von Miller brings him down.
Marvin Harrison has a safety over the top. All game long, the Bills have been doing that.
Murray drops back to pass, steps up, he trips, he goes down. He's sacked. Von Miller powered his way through Calvin Beachum.
You think you got problems, so do we. But the Bills have been able to withstand it. 4th and goal. Thompson, he slips and down he goes. 15-yard line, and Von Miller, after that 14-game drought.
Back at the 17 now on 4th and goal. Lawrence dropped. Chased down and sacked by Von Miller.
Drops back to the 20, in trouble, and gets sacked at the 19. Von Miller. We said he comes up big on these 3rd down plays.
It was really Rodgers who needed to get the ball out on the safety. Max Mitchell did his job.
3rd and 6. And again they get to him. It's Von Miller, who plays sparingly, comes in situations like this to make his presence felt.
The best thing that this Buffalo defense does is they take the ball away and gives their offense more opportunities.
May, they come around the corner, and look who it is. It's Von Miller. Get out of here.
2nd and 10. Awkwardness as Jackson wrapped up, and the ball's out. Scooped up, Von Miller! Von Miller with Hill chasing after him. Hill tries to swipe the ball out of his hands, but Miller holds on, and the Bills defense has the 2nd takeaway. Call on Hill. And he is smacked by Ed Oliver.
He's played a game today as well. He's been very active, disruptive.